That sure was some nightmare. It even left me with a monster headache. My head is killing me. My head feels like it's going to explode. These nightmares have given me a mean headache. It seems like I've had this headache since I moved in. Boy, my head hurts. Here is the telephone. Gothic artwork. Certainly not my style, but it came with the house. The artwork looks old and feels old, too. And not even a hidden safe behind it. I can't think of anyone I want to call right now. Looks like an old Persian rug. That's an uninviting-looking bed. I don't have time to take a nap. These towels have an illegible monogram on them. I'm already dry. An old-fashioned shower stall. I look great. Then again, the mirror is dirty. A slightly worn old-fashioned bathtub. That's the hot water heater gurgling. This dilapidated room gives me the chills. Must be the cold draft. Better not touch that. It's hot. The old pipes don't work. Here's an old trench coat. I wouldn't be caught dead in that thing. Those wooden planks creak a lot. The entrance to this house must have seen countless guests come and go. But it's just me now. That's a chilly draft blowing through this decrepit old living room. There's a piece of paper taped to the mirror. This mirror reflects a haunting image of me. The window panes have clouded with time. I can barely make out the yard. This rusty hinge won't budge. This mirror is cold to the touch, a grim reminder of its unyielding quest for my true image. An old Victorian chair. The varnish is rough. The cushion is tough. An old oak table. A masterpiece of the macabre. Its eyes follow me relentlessly. More dust on my hands. The varnish is still smooth. An old velveteen couch. A film of dust covers the couch. This picture is very alien to me. This grandfather clock reverberates an ancient, endless tempo. There appears to be a plaque inside, but I can't make out what it says. The clock casing is locked for some reason. I better not eat anything coming from this kitchen until the cleaning lady has disinfected it. The refrigerator doesn't seem to be running. A strange odor seems to be coming from inside. The cabinets are old and stained. The shelves are bare except for the bugs. The sound of water dripping on that rusty old sink reminds me of how fast time is passing. This stove is hissing, and there's a faint smell of gas here. I bet the pilot light is out. The pilot flame is out. Here's an extensive collection of empty wine bottles. The previous owner must have had some reason to drink. Puy Fusé Chanot Controchet, 1961. Not my cup of tea. These are empty red wine barrels. They feel sticky with dried wine. What would I want with an empty bottle? These leather-bound books remind me of my book collection still in storage. That's kind of unsettling. This old globe is a collector's item dating back decades. These old science books date back a long way. The books would fall apart if I touched them. The globe is rusted into place and will not turn. The walls seem hollow here. The door is open. This secret room is dark and damp. These large boulders seem solid and immovable. The wall is cold to the touch. A heavy twine rope. The walls seem hollow here. There's a secret door here. There is a bulge in the pocket of the trench coat. This bed hasn't been slept on in years. The sheets are blanketed with dust, and now so are my hands. It's a calm neighborhood out here. My house seems somehow out of time, a relic of a dark past, or perhaps a dark future. The road seems strangely empty and unoccupied. This town looks unnaturally quiet. What a quaint general store with a little bit of everything for day-to-day existence. There's a container of Russian sardines. There's a bottle of soy sauce. There's a can of pitted olives. The counter looks as though it has been polished for hours. There's a can of insecticide. There's a package of crackers. There's a bottle of cheap scotch. Maybe I should call for an appointment first. An old library, a venerable repository of knowledge. It guards its bounty behind a handsomely decorated structure. Looking at the fountain makes me very thirsty. The water feels so cool and refreshing. This room reminds me of my study, full of leather-bound books. These shrubs are well groomed. Someone has lost a hairpin. Sure is quiet here. You could hear a pin drop. These old library books date back a long time. I don't see anything worth reading here. She's an extremely beautiful woman. She doesn't seem to notice me staring at her. That would be very impolite. The sort of thing your former coworker Larry would have tried to do. She's an extremely beautiful woman. She seems busy and rather preoccupied with her job. This red herring is useless to me. It's probably not a good idea to show this to anyone. The rows of books in the library stacks all look pretty much the same. There's a green book with a scrap of paper hanging out of it. I don't see anything of interest. The librarian's desk seems to have a never-ending stack of books to check in. This dark room looks like it is seldom used. Nothing but books, books, and more books. I don't see anything of interest. A reader for viewing microfiche films. An old teak desk. It's seen better days. This is the inside of a police station. At least there aren't any pictures of anyone I know here. There's nothing inside. An old oak office desk. A gun in a holster. There's a map of the city. Mugshots don't make good souvenirs. I don't see anything of interest. I can't pry it loose. Besides, it's too big to lug around. What a quaint general store with a little bit of everything for day-to-day existence. There's a container of Russian sardines. There's a bottle of soy sauce. There's a can of pitted olives. The counter looks as though it has been polished for hours. There's a can of insecticide. There's a package of crackers. I don't have any bullets. At least the lawn doesn't need mowing. This place is a shambles. Reminds me of my last garage. Now this baby could be a collector's item, if it were properly restored. It doesn't look like it's been used lately. There's the trunk of the car. There's a crowbar in the trunk. Here's the opening to the gas tank. The gas tank cover is missing. This car sure is old, but I think it could still be made to run. A real wood steering wheel. An old AM radio. There's a glove compartment. Doesn't appear to be locked. Here are a pair of old gardening gloves. The battery still works. Here's an entry to an old cemetery, overgrown with weeds. These archways give me a sense of foreboding. The ground is damp and muddy. The cold stones send a chill up my spine. This place looks like no one has been around to tend it for a long time. There's no name on this stone. The stone feels rough with sharp edges, as though it had just recently been chiseled. G. Threepwood, rest in peace. The stone is very worn, like it's been here for centuries. Sherry Days. She's far beyond anyone's reach. Harcourt Fenton Mudd. He was no tribble at all. J.T.K. S. Nostromo. Rest in peace. John Campbell. Here lies a man who saw beyond time's horizon. Bobby Jacobs. Never thought you'd end up here, did you? The inscription has eroded with time. I can't touch that. Have I no respect for the dead? These are ancient symbols covering this mausoleum, but I'm not up on my Egyptian. Nothing here. It worked. The door opened. Feels like a cold draft just hit me. Or is it just my nerves? The names on these caskets have faded away with time. I guess the caskets have been sealed shut to preserve freshness. These pillars hold up the mausoleum. Leonard Tuttle, beloved son. Gary Tuttle, beloved cousin. Julia Tuttle, beloved mother.